Poplin with Thunder Breakdown.
Well, welcome in, everyone. It's time for another Thunder Breakdown. Just a little under 5 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. Oklahoma City finds themselves in a 10-point hole as we speak. Quick and active hands by Indiana defensively tonight, causing all types of problems for Oklahoma City. Turnovers galore, and Indiana has been hot so far from three, and there's another big one that forces a timeout. Oklahoma City now down by 13 with 4:33 to go. The crowd is fired up. They just did a close-up of Reggie Miller, who's clapping along. It's been a little bit of a struggle for the Thunder here tonight in what is potentially a closeout game, looking for their first ever championship in Oklahoma City franchise history. My name is Jeremy Poplin, joined by Raven Ray from News on 6. Joe, producer to the stars as well, hanging out tonight, also from the News on 6. We've got other guests that'll be joining us here coming up in a bit. Carl Torp is going to join us from News 9 here coming up at halftime. John Holcomb has the invite. Oh, we've got invites out everywhere. What's going on, guys? Where's everyone watching the game at tonight? Raven, where are you?
I have myself muted because it's so loud in here, but I'm at Buffalo Wild Wings on Memorial.
Okay, all right. How's the crowd at B-Dubs tonight?
You want to see it?
Yeah, let's see it.
Let's see if I can turn it around. I don't know how to turn it around, but there we go.
Okay, all right.
This is the bar area.
All right. So they still got the old school, like, oh, we're locking all the smokers in the bar area around here right now. I like it.
This is the new Buffalo Wild Wings that opened a couple months ago.
Okay.
Over by on 101st, I believe. It's like right by the Chili's.
See, what's funny is Joe and I are both old enough to remember when they had smoking sections in the restaurants where you could walk in and be like,
I was in there too when I was a kid.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's good. Joe, you at home checking out the game tonight?
Yeah, I'm at home tonight. You know, I'm acting my age. Got to work the overnight shift. So we, us who work on 6 in the morning, we've been, staying up late and going in and doing what we have to. It's so monumental, important, so cool for Oklahoma. And here we have a chance to win it. My deal tonight, guys, our bench, they're killing us on the bench. I think I saw 18-3.
Yeah.
Nobody was shooting well early, and this is to be expected. It's the first half. These leads don't matter, especially with the Pacers. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like we're pressing. Shea has been uncharacteristically like getting into trouble, just dribbling into trouble, and kind of like, I don't know, just falling. But it's first half. They're hyped. This is their best punch. I think that's what we're seeing right here.
Well, I think you bring up some good points. It did feel like that early on. It was mainly a little bit of, you hate to call it nerves or just trying to get the job done, but it did feel like in the early stages that Shea was pressing and maybe forcing a few bad shots. He got some of those knocked away. Coming off of the screen in the paint. Again, those active hands by Indiana. He put up a couple of bad shots, tried to get away with stuff. I don't mind him attempting those because he's the MVP as long as he learns his lesson from that. He did towards the end of the first quarter. He settled in a bit, and it was a nice little run there towards the end of the first quarter. But now Indiana back shooting the ball incredibly well. At the end of the first quarter, I thought this was unique, guys, because it was plus 12 for OKC in the paint, 16-4, and it was plus 12 for Indiana from shooting the three ball. That has now gone the opposite direction because Indiana scored a few more points in the paint here in the second quarter, and they've continued to shoot the ball well from three. But I think we all kind of expected that they were going to get a tough test tonight. Like, as much as Oklahoma City a chance to wrap up the series, I mean, if we're just being real, like Indiana won game 3 at home, played incredibly well, and then outside of a bad fourth quarter, played really well in game number 4. So, they've only lost once on the home floor this year in the playoffs, and you kind of had to figure that Oklahoma City was going to get their best shot tonight.
I mean, it could easily have been 3-1 them, with a couple of breaks. It could have been, another way if we won game one. But no, we got to ride this out, keep it close enough, and play our ball. Yeah, it's only 13 right now on my TV.
We need to start using our bigs in the best way possible because we need to use this to our advantage with Miles Turner just having an absolute terrible game.
Yep.
And yeah, you mentioned the turnover, Shay. You don't mind it, but still uncharacteristic. But yeah, he's just trying to get those shots that he knows he can make. It's just not happening. He's turning the ball over too much. But
See,
yeah, Bench needs to step up.
I love Hartenstein. I love Hartenstein when he's facilitating. I mean, this guy's good for five assists a game. He's really good at handing off and making the right pass.
I do. Like, it's no secret. I think Carlisle's a great coach. I still say this towards the end of his run in Dallas. I thought he got kind of a little bit of a bad rap. And look, he had been there long enough where I'm also a firm believer in sometimes change is good and you've kind of outgrown your stay. So he goes there, and you knew that he was going to have some sort of counter. The counter for Oklahoma City has been J-Dub and allowing him at times to handle the ball a little bit more. Shea setting screens for him, really kind of playing into the strengths of your second scorer. The counter tonight, at least in the second quarter for Rick Carlisle, was, very rarely do we see TJ McConnell playing with Halliburton. Like they're hardly ever on the floor together. So they put them on the floor together. So you get the benefit of Halliburton, who, when he's shooting well, you really like that. And some of the passes without him having to shoulder as much as the ball handling because TJ McConnell's taking care of that. How often has TJ McConnell been able to get into the paint? We saw him tonight with a couple of offensive boards. I tweeted this earlier, but TJ McConnell is one of those dudes. You love him if he's on your team, but if you're a fan of if he's on the opponent side, you're like, how in the hell does this guy keep doing this to us? That's what it is with TJ McConnell every single time.
Well, I'm sure Pacers fans thinks that with Alex Caruso too. So.
Yeah, no, there's some truth to that. There's some absolute truth to that. There's another just into the paint, just slicing right through. 53-37 now with 3 minutes to go here in the first. If you're watching along on YouTube, if you have any questions, feel free to jump in. The chat is up and going as we speak. So if you've got anything that you want to add to the equation, please feel free to do so because we can see that for you here in just a few moments. Oh, it is just all pouring down. Halliburton with another giant three right now, and Raven may have to order the entire crew here a round of shots since she's at Buffalo Wild Wings with the way that this one's going right now.
Halliburton looks good. I mean, he looks so much better than he has in the last two games.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys felt, but I never bought into the he's not going to play. I mean, I know it didn't.
It's the finals.
Yeah, it didn't sound good. I do think that he was playing a little coy, I think, at the press conference with some of his comments. But man, it's the finals. You got to go, and even if you're going to risk, having another extensive injury, you just hope it's not one that's too bad. I think you give it a go no matter what.
Yeah, I definitely thought he was giving it a go. I'm surprised just how effective and how nice he looks.
I'm sure there's a lot of guys with a lot of injuries. I'm sure Chet has more wrong with his ankle than we even know about, and he's playing.
Yeah. Man, Siakam, easy bucket there on the inbounds. 58-39 now. Yep, no doubt.
Yelling at the screen.
No doubt. There's J-Dub. J-Dub gets an and one. That'll help Oklahoma City here with under 2 minutes to go. I have a feeling my feed's a little bit ahead of you guys.
I'm right on.
Oh, you're right on? Okay, yeah.
No, I'm behind.
That's quality.
DirecTV.
That's that quality broadband that Buffalo Wild Wings has got.
Yeah.
Surround sound too.
All right, so 140. Halliburton bringing the ball up. You know who's been kind of quiet tonight is Lou Dort.
Yeah.
Haven't heard much from Lou at all this evening. Hasn't had much impact defensively.
He's also fallen a couple times. I don't think he's just like getting his bearings at all.
Hey, Raven, how good is Halliburton on the finish when he gets into the paint?
Good, but I don't know what you're trying to get me to say here, so I don't know.
No, I'm just saying, like he's like he has the unique ability. Yeah, he has the unique ability to finish in the paint on even the most off-balance shots that you see at times.
Without actually getting to the rim.
Well,
Oh, wow.
yeah, there's a throwdown now, and Indiana's just feeling it. The lead is up to 20. Hey, Carl Torp has joined us here as we get set for halftime. Carl, you're kind of shaking your head a little bit there. What are you thinking right now?
This is my worst fear. I just because I don't think they're gonna. I mean, if they in the third quarter, if they can't make something happen quick, they're just gonna pack it in and wait for Game 7. That was kind of my thought on this game. If they could just make it close at the end, they could pull it out. But any kind of like this, 20 points is too much. So my feeling is we'll see you on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in, and when things are going good, things are just going good. That's an unbelievable shot by Siakam there at halftime. It's 64-42 now. The crowd is absolutely in a frenzy. Reggie Miller enjoys what he's witnessed so far. I think in the NBA, in the current state of the NBA, like a lead to me is only safe when it reaches like the 30 level. But I'm curious to see, knowing what a long grind that it is, like what the response from Mark is if they don't start to really chip away at this at a certain point, by a certain minute in the third quarter.
I think they have to cut the lead in half by like midway through the third, or I don't know, 3/4 of the way through the third. I just if it's not a 10-point game going into the fourth quarter, I don't know. I just it's the hungrier team's winning right now, and so it's always the desperate team that's dangerous. So this isn't really a surprise what's happening. I just was just kind of hoping that if they don't get blown out, if it's not like a 10-point first quarter deficit, then all's good. And they came back, and I thought they were just gonna kind of just hang with them, but that was ugly right there. And I mean, credit Indiana, they're making shots. I mean, Indiana's a good team.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know, Joe. We've talked about that a lot. Like sometimes we have a tendency to overlook how good that Indiana is. I mean, they were the switch flipped for them in January, and it hit another gear in March. While we were all kind of in our Thunder bubble watching them, because you don't pay much attention to what's happening on the Eastern Conference unless it's the ESPN teams that all the talking heads talk about. But there's just Indiana kind of cruising along. But man, they were doing things, and they've been good for a long time now. You had to expect that they were going to give it their all.
Yeah,
They're giving it all, and Siakam is playing at an all-time level. This is the best season I've seen him, and he's won a championship. He's been an all-star. Indiana is everything that they are. This is a great team, and it's going to take a great effort to get anywhere close in this second half.
You're exactly right. All right, we've got more people joining us. We'll introduce them in a second, but first...
Streaming from Oklahoma's own digital studio, this is Halftime Hangout with Jeremy Poplin.
Oh, the Thunder are in an absolute battle tonight. but is one that is trending towards the Indiana Pacers. It's a 64-42 halftime lead. Welcome in here on News 9 YouTube, also streaming live on X as well. My name is Jeremy Poplin. Got a cast and crew that's located all across the state of Oklahoma. Even one individual that's hanging out at Buffalo Wild Wings in Raven Ray. John Holcomb has joined us. Aaron Alexander is on board. Great to see Carl Torp jumping back in here on the halftime hangout. Joe as well. John Holcomb, some of your thoughts on the first half as you're just joining us here.
These are more fun doing these halftime hangouts when the games are closer.
yes, they are.
Look, it was almost like the Pacers pulled a mini version of Ali's rope-a-dope with George Foreman at the very beginning of that game. They didn't look like they had any life. Halliburton wasn't moving at all, and you go up 10-2, and you're thinking, oh, this might be the night. And then, of course, we know this. You insert T.J. McConnell, things change. They start hitting a bunch of crazy threes in a row. But the Thunder had an answer for that first one. But, I mean, statistically speaking, all you really need to know is since OKC went up 10-2, they've been outscored 62-32 since then. They've been too sloppy with the ball. That may be – the second quarter may be one of the worst quarters they've played for the majority of the season.
Yeah, we were talking about this right before you jumped on. So Carlisle throwing a little wrinkle tonight. Not very often do you see McConnell with Halliburton on the floor at the same time, and it's really caused a few issues. And watch McConnell, because I can tell you right away, McConnell does not respect Cason Wallace. He does not respect Aaron Wiggins at all. He gets into the paint. He frees up so much of what they're doing. That's a nice little adjustment from Rick Carlisle that says, what do we got to lose? Let's try to get this going right now, especially with a 70% Tyrese Halliburton.
Yes, and let's credit Halliburton too for, I think that while we got focused on how much Tyrese Halliburton creates looks from three when he's healthy off of the dribble and like the stab dribble and the step back or step to the side. It's not like he elevates a lot on his 3-point shot to begin with. It's a little more, it looks a little more flat footed than a lot of other guys do. And so he's adjusted whatever he's feeling in that calf to not let it bother him on the release. So he deserves some credit, but you're exactly right about McConnell and that and him just attacking. He's always in attack mode, but but listen, Thunder got to be better with the basketball. I mean, my goodness, this has just been ridiculously bad in that second quarter.
Well, in a reversal, right, Aaron? Because as bad as Oklahoma City's been with the ball, Indiana's been great. This is the first time in 35 games that a Thunder opponent did not turn the ball over in the first quarter. You've got to go way back to, I think it was Milwaukee Bucks is the last team that happened for. From an Indiana standpoint, I don't think you can ask for a better start, but Oklahoma City's turnovers have been a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen a team, credit to TJ McConnell, but I've never seen a team struggle. And this one actually wasn't an inbounds pass, but so many times in the series, the Thunder have struggled just with an inbounds pass because of T.J. McConnell. In the first quarter, it was just a little deflection off of it, just like figure out who's bringing the ball up the court. It seems pretty simple to me. Also, the Thunder are 9% from downtown. That's I've crunched the numbers and I've figured out that that's not good.
Yeah.
Hey, Pop, let me tell you something about what we saw, because I don't know that we shared this, but Monday night, Chet's really Holmgren has really struggled shooting the ball, and we watched him at halftime. Maybe I mentioned this at halftime. We watched him warm up for the second half, and I mean he was missing shot after shot after shot, and then a couple of times just moved and said, shook his arms like he's frustrated with himself. And he spent extra time with Chip, the shooting coach for the Thunder, who's widely regarded as one of the best. He's missing something. I don't know if it's the legs that he needs to elevate a little bit more. And you know how he talked about shooting threes with a little more arc, get a little more arc on his jump shot. He talked about that before the season started. And he just doesn't have it right now. And he's not the only one missing shots, but he doesn't have it.
Yeah.
I think it's almost like he's hesitating, though. He's hesitating, and it just looks like he's going slow. Like he's not sure if he's going to take it, and then when he finally decides to take it, it just looks slow, and it gets blocked easily. I know what you're talking about, this body language stuff. I don't know. I haven't seen it all year, right? He just puts his hands on his head like when he missed a dunk. He's just not playing with confidence, and he has it at home. He has it at home, and he started this game really aggressive, and I thought had some really nice plays, but I don't know where that's gone. But yeah, I think he's just a tick slow because doesn't feel confident. He's just holding it, and then everyone knows he's taking the three at that point. They can get over there and guard him and block him.
You know, that's a great point, Carl, because that's one thing that you notice about Chet's shot is he's got the slow release, and that allows when he's shooting from the perimeter, that slower release allows that defender just that split more second to be able to close out on it a little bit more. That causes sometimes a hesitation on that. But we were discussing this the other day, I know he missed a large portion of the season trying to recover from that hip, but when's the last time that Chet's been playing basketball this late into the year? You know, he's already got he's sleight of frame anyway. He's going up against Miles Turner, who's played him very physical at times. I think he's had a big impact on this series, Chet has. So to see him play this way, maybe he'll bounce back in the second quarter right now. But Chet, I didn't think Dort had a very good half at all. There were a couple of other guys that you were looking out there like, I don't even know if they've called or mentioned their name one time so far this evening.
I will say this too: as much as we have praised them, and as much as they have made people forget to a certain degree that they're a young team and young teams aren't supposed to do this, this is a young team who's never been in this position before either.
Yeah, that's right.
To close one out.
That's right. We do have questions in on the chat. I'm going to throw this one up there. Ben says that he's having the time of his life at Thunder Hall in Tulsa. So Ben has decided in the middle of all the chaos to jump on here and watch us. Ben, really appreciate you for doing that. Our very own Raven is hanging out at the Buffalo Wild Wings. Raven, what's kind of the mood like as you're out and about in the city watching it tonight? You got loud Thunder fans that are there?
Well, they were loud, and when we got on, everybody started leaving, and they were down. So they're down almost 20 now. So you can hear the commercials a lot louder now. But everybody's gone. No, there's still a good amount of people here. I mean, this is the whole restaurant. I mean, it's full of Thunder, and so great time. They've been. Every time a Thunder player misses a shot or they get a dump foul, everybody's like, over here. And then whenever they get a three or and one, everybody's clapping. It got so loud in here during the starting lineups because nobody gets to see that until now if you don't go to games.
Yeah, thankfully we've bullied ABC enough that they're able to actually put the starting lineups back on TV. Raven, how many atomic wings do you think that you could polish off? Could you do the atomic wing challenge while you're there? And will you do it on the live stream?
I actually have before, and it was not good. I only got through like one because I don't know if you guys remember, but I did that at the station. Whenever they had the wings, I had some on the side. And it was not a fun time.
Okay.
I did have medium wings.
So no, I polished off the Atomic Talent Challenge T-shirt for Raven tonight at all. This comment from Mike, who's watching us tonight. Pacers are just having one of those nights where every shot goes in. They can't do anything wrong. Hard to beat a team when they're having one of those nights. Joe, you kind of mentioned that a little bit earlier. It was just like, hey, man, tip your cap to Indiana for the way that they're shooting tonight.
Yeah, Pacers are a great team. They beat the Celtics. They beat the Knicks. They beat the Bucks. Maybe I got one of those wrong, but no, they're fantastic. And it's going to take an effort. And I'll say, Raven, if Thunder fans, I mean, we live and die with each shot. I'm just like everybody in that place. But if we're nervous tonight, just what do you think it's going to be like on Sunday?
I think the whole city's gonna be mad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seriously, I mean,
I was going to say, everybody needs to check on Carl.
I'm just telling you that the confidence level here for this game, and maybe that was the Halliburton injury. I mean, we all knew he was going to play, and he's been injected up with some good juice, and he's playing well. But there's so much confidence here that they're going to win this game, and we have all these watch zones. I mean, they were lining up hours early before tip-off just to get a spot inside there before tip-off. I mean, it was Toby Rowland, and McGee called it in 7, and I think he felt good about I think it's actually going to be 6. And then Toby was like, no, I think Indiana. He's like the first person I talked to today that actually thought Indiana was going to win this game. And it was kind of just put like a damper in that moment. Like, you're the one guy. And so, but it's happening. It's like our worst fears are happening. So,
hey, they don't just give championships away. You got to earn them.
No.
It's been a whole process.
So
and
it's going to be a horrible weekend here. I mean, until Sunday, it really is. It's just going to be everyone's just mad.
Well, let's not
Aaron,
pretend that a 22-point
LSU baseball
lead
would never
though
let that happen.
is insurmountable. As a LSU fan, I can tell you that sometimes wins come from very unusual places. So I don't think the Thunder are out of it yet. I would say, honestly, it's not the Pacers' offense that has me concerned. Maybe the Thunder could be a little bit more tighter on the defensive end. I think it's the Pacers' defense that, obviously you have the turnovers. You know, the Pacers are getting deflections off Thunder passes. The Thunder have 3 assists. Like, they're not moving the ball, around at all. Like, I'm honestly not as much concerned about the Pacers offense as I am the Oklahoma City's defense and Oklahoma City's, turnovers. Like, that's the key.
Aaron, you've been on for 15 minutes, and I can't believe it took you that long to get an LSU reference in.
I know.
I'm a little disappointed that it took you that long. I thought you were coming on here and you were going to start singing "Neck" right off the bat. Here's a quick stat. Dub and Shea were the only 2 to score that quarter. They were 6 for 8 for 17 points. The rest of the team 0 for 9. Chet was 0 for 5 in the second quarter. Like that just can't continue, John. They've got to get some others involved. I know Wiggins hit one early, because I even made the point. I was like, "Whoa, a road 3! Those don't happen very often." It seems for Oklahoma
That's our
City.
only bench points.
But since then,
bench points and the only 3.
Yeah, since then, I mean, something's got to give.
So what do you think?
I just glanced up at our 9:00 newscast, which, Carl, you don't have to worry about in Oklahoma City, so that's stuff on the back. But I just watched. They just pitched it out to Chloe Abbott down at Paycom Center, and I'm sure that when she and Jussero or Photog left to go down there today, they thought, "Oh, this is going to be a fun deal. This is going to be great. Everybody's going to want to talk to us." And right about now, it's kind of like, "Hey, I'm still smiling, but it's more quiet in here than it's supposed to be."
So, what do you think the strategy is in the second half? Let's just say they can't come back all the way. But do you think there's any kind of, does Mark Daigneault try to figure something out where he can still provide a little bit of confidence to guys like Chet? They're just having off nights or off second quarters, and just kind of get them ready for Game 7. Because I don't think you can pull everyone and say, "Hey, we're fine." Like, regroup. I think he needs to kind of play this where he's giving minutes to certain guys in certain ways and certain combinations just to kind of bring back a little confidence. Or does he say, "Okay, let's just see if at this mark if we can get it to 10 points"?
I think you still play to win, but I don't think you deviate from your normal approach, because if you totally change things up in this one, then subliminally you send a message to your team that you had to change something. You know what I mean? You've gotten this far.
You just forget about like Game 7 rest. Just like at this point, let's just, maybe they need to be on the court and take the stumping to be motivated for Game 7.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you got 2 days. You've been able to space it out, so you're not playing in 2 nights. You're playing Sunday night, and maybe if you can't put a dent in here in the third quarter and make it a game again, then you probably see some things in the fourth quarter to get guys out earlier. I'd say.
Real quick, I just want to point out 3 things here. I know the second half just started, but before game 1, someone here at News 9 got wind of the parade route, and I had to know like where the parade route is. So we had that conversation. They lose game 1. Before game 3, we had to have like a talk. Like, here's the time of the parade, and I'm like, I don't want to hear this, and they lose. And today we had that huge meeting.
This
is secret. This is supposed to be embargoed.
Everyone in the company is at this meeting, and I'm like, what are we doing? And here's what's happening.
No, we were just figuring out what Buffalo Wild Wings we were going to order for this.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Hey, real quick, because I just saw this stat, and I'm intrigued. I thought there was a lot of. It just seemed like there wasn't a whole lot of sharing the basketball. There was a whole lot of one guy with the possession and a shot in the first. Oklahoma City's seemingly doing a little bit better, kind of working it around the horn here, even though Dort misses the first 3. Check out the possession. So first half, possessions have been Oklahoma City's friend the entire postseason run. Indiana had 57 shooting plays, just 42 for OKC in the first half. Maybe they can kind of live inside the chaos a little bit more and pick up the pace, try to match Indiana, just to try to get some rhythm or flow back into the offense here early on.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, Pop.
Yeah.
Fouls need to go down.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Hey, one quick one that I'll show here before we go. This is from someone that we all know. Andy says the largest halftime deficit overcome in the NBA Finals game is 24 points. Boston came back to beat the Lakers in Game 4 of the 2008 Finals. See, so it is capable of being done. There's a lot of work to do, and then that's why we're going to get off here and see if Oklahoma City can actually do it or not. John, I appreciate you for jumping on. Aaron, you're the man. Carl, keep the positivity up there tonight in Oklahoma City.
I'm here for the vibe. Last time I was here, they pulled out a miraculous win. So we'll see if we can do it twice.
That's awesome. Joe, really appreciate you jumping on from home as well. See you tomorrow morning. And Raven, enjoy Buffalo Wild Wings with Thunder fans there in the city of Tulsa tonight. And thank you to everyone for joining us here during our halftime hangout. Always appreciate you tuning in on News 9's YouTube page and also the X feed as well. We'll see you as soon as the post-game show begins right here back on YouTube and on X. And until then, Thunder up, everyone.
Thank you for watching this Oklahoma Zone digital studio stream. Stay with News 9, online and on television anytime for the latest news, weather, and sports.